Have you ever looked at the business world and just wondered why some companies seem to be playing a totally different game than others? Why do some just thrive while others are in this constant dogfight for every single penny? Well, the answer isn't just about working harder or having a better product. Today, we're going to decode the hidden rulebook of business market structures. Really think about that question. And the answer, it's not just about some slick marketing campaign or brilliant strategy. It all comes down to the very structure of the market they're in. And trust me, by the end of this, you are going to start seeing these invisible structures everywhere. All right, so to really get why some businesses feel like they're in a never-ending battle while others are just chilling in this comfortable fortress, we have to look at the competitive arena itself, because they are absolutely not all created equal. So on one hand, you've got what I call the constant battle. Just picture a street packed with restaurants in any city. It's this super high-stress, low-margin fight just to survive. But then, on the other hand, you have the comfortable fortress. Think about your local water company. They've got zero competition. The real kicker here is that their success isn't just about their own strategy, it's baked into the battlefield itself. So how do we actually define these different battlefields? Well, it turns out every single market has a kind of DNA, a fundamental code that's made up of just 4 key ingredients. And once you know these 4 things, you can classify pretty much any industry out there. Yeah, think of it like 4 genes that make up the market. First up, the number of sellers. Are we talking thousands of little shops or just a handful of powerful giants? Second, who are the buyers? And how much power do they really have? Third, and this is a big one, product uniqueness. Is everyone selling the exact same thing, like, say, wheat, or are the products super different, like smartphones? And finally, ease of entry. Can just anyone set up shop and start competing, or are there massive walls keeping newcomers out? Okay, so here's where it all comes together. When you mix and match these 4 ingredients in different ways, you get the 4 main market structures. These are basically the fundamental blueprints for how competition actually works in our economy. This table right here lays it all out beautifully. So way over at one extreme, you've got perfect competition. Tons of sellers, identical products, super easy to get in. And at the complete other end of the spectrum, you've got a monopoly. One seller, a totally unique product, and it's basically impossible to get in. Now that space in between, monopolistic competition and oligopoly, that's where most of the businesses we interact with every day actually live. So let's take a quick look at each one. First up, perfect competition. The best way to picture this is a giant farmer's market. You've got dozens of farmers and they're all selling identical red apples, right? No single farmer can jack up their price because their apples are exactly the same as the next guy's. In this world, they are price takers, not price makers. Okay, next is monopolistic competition. Now here, you've still got a lot of sellers, but their products are a little different. The soap aisle in a supermarket is the perfect example. All soaps get you clean, but companies use branding, different scents, fancy packaging, anything to convince you that theirs is special. And that gives them just a little bit of power over their price. They get to be kind of small-time price makers. Then we get to oligopoly. This is a market that's dominated by just a few massive companies. Think major airlines or car manufacturers. Because there are so few of them, anything one company does, like a big sale on flights, instantly impacts all the others. It's like this high-stakes chess match where every single move is being watched. And finally, we have the monopoly. One seller, total control. This could be your local utility company or, a really fantastic example, a pharmaceutical company that has an exclusive patent on a new life-saving drug. They have zero direct competition, which gives them huge control over the price. They are the ultimate price maker. So this brings us right back to that idea of a fortress. How do these really powerful companies, the oligopolies and the monopolies, how do they protect their turf and their ability to set their own prices? Well, they build and they maintain something called barriers to entry. So what is a barrier to entry? It's really anything that stops a new competitor from showing up and challenging the companies that are already there. You can think of it like a giant moat around a castle. And these moats come in 3 main types. So these are the 3 main tools for building that market fortress. You've got natural barriers, which just come from the nature of the industry itself. Then there are legal barriers, which are actually granted by the government. And finally, strategic barriers, which are deliberate moves made by the companies themselves. Okay, so what you're seeing here is a really powerful natural barrier called economies of scale. Put simply, for some industries, like making cars, it gets way cheaper to make each individual item the more you produce. Just look at the graph. As the output goes up, the cost per unit plummets. A huge, established company is operating at a scale where they can make stuff so cheaply that a brand new startup just can't compete on price. They'd literally lose money on every single sale. Next up are legal barriers. This is when the government itself hands a company an exclusive keep out sign. A patent on a new medicine is the textbook example. For a certain number of years, nobody else is legally allowed to make or sell that drug. It creates a temporary, government-approved monopoly. And finally, you've got strategic barriers. This is when the big companies start playing chess to defend their position. They might just flood the market with advertising or lock up all the key suppliers. They could even temporarily slash their prices so low that a new company couldn't possibly make a profit, basically scaring them off before they even get their foot in the door. Okay, so we've looked at the force structures, we've looked at the barriers that protect them. What's the big picture here? Why does knowing all this give you this new superpower for kind of analyzing the world around you? It's because the single most important thing to remember is this. A company's behavior, its prices, and even its profits are often determined less by how brilliant its CEO is and more by the fundamental rules of the game it's forced to play. Once you understand the market structure, you understand the game. So I'll leave you with this final thought. The next time you're out buying something, a plane ticket, a new phone, even just a carton of milk, just take a second and ask yourself, what kind of market is this? Is it perfect competition, or is it something a lot closer to a fortress? And maybe more importantly, who built the walls and why?